What's up guys, Elastic Rightstick here again, and today's Dreams video is about the Community Creative Jam. We're just providing a brief overview of what we experienced during the beta of the Creative Jam and what you can expect when the full game comes out. Now, the Community Creative Jam is a weekly contest and it's got its own section in the Dreams menu, and within the Creative Jam menu you've got a sub-menu for the creator, a Hall of Fame, and so the play menu. We're going to start off talking about the play menu because that's probably the area where we're going to be spending most of our time in. And in the play menu there's loads, and in the play menu it's laid out like normal dream searching. The main difference is that there's no creator detail shown in the play menu, so when it's time to actually cast votes for creations, you don't actually see who created what, you just see its own icon and you get to play it, and at the end of the level you get to vote after you've played it. You won't be able to vote on a creation unless you've actually played it or gone into it to view it, and I think that's fair. Avoids creator bias, so you don't just vote for something without actually checking it through just because you think this creator's great or whatever. But naturally I'm sure some people's creative styles are going to shine through anyway, so you can probably tell, but at least it's some way to try and tackle that issue. What really annoys me though in the play menu is that it only ever shows you 5 levels or 5 creations at a time, and you can't really scroll through a bunch of them. You actually have to play through them, and once you play through them they spit out another 5 basically for you to go through, and the selection seems random, and I guess that's quite fair, but at the same time it probably means that some levels, while they're very good, not as many people may actually end up playing it, because some people might only go into the play menu and maybe play for like an hour through the contest entries, and then if you've got like hundreds of levels being submitted, then if you only get to go through 5 at a time, it's some really great levels might just not get the votes they would have if someone was able to choose to play it. Obviously that does play into the fairness what we spoke on earlier about not to create any biases, because obviously if someone's able to create like a really cool icon for their dream, then obviously more people are going to click onto it. So I guess it's just sort of erase that bias and erase all the biases possible. It's just a slight annoyance for me. And also it is a bit annoying as well where when it's during the play menu you can't add anything to your collections, you can't follow stuff afterwards, at least in the beta. And so sometimes after playing through a really cool level that you might want to add to a collection for later reference or whatever, you won't be able to do that, and it might be hard to re-find it again. Obviously good levels will naturally be voted on, hopefully. Let's move on to sort of the create sub-menu where it's just like the normal create menu. At the top corner there's sort of the jam rules, where to be fair the jam rules are exactly the same every single time it seems. The general gist is you only get to submit a creation into one jam only, so if you've made a creation submitted to one specific jam, you can't use that in any other future jams. So choose wisely guys. You can update your creation all the way up until the deadline. I couldn't quite tell if it was that you couldn't be able to update it or that updates won't be applied to the voting level. And the whole create is just based on one phrase, one theme. So we've had things like bugs, robots, outer space, Chinese New Year, and it's open to interpretation because you can create anything. You can create a full level, you can create a sculpture, or you can create some piece of music. You all have equal opportunity if you create any one of those things. And what's really interesting, we've already seen in the beta, especially with the bugs creative jam, is how people have interpreted the theme very differently. Because most people have interpreted it to being, the actual insect type bugs, but obviously some people have also done it as game bug glitches and stuff like that. So that's actually very interesting to see creators' takes on these things. And at the end of the beta, the results hadn't come out for the bugs yet. So I'm also interested to see how voting applies to interpretation of the theme as well. What I've noticed throughout this whole beta and the community jams is that levels tend to be favored in voting, followed by sculpting and music. While there's lots of really nice musical stuff submitted, they tend to not be voted for. Third and final element is the Hall of Fame in the Creative Jam menu. And the Hall of Fame actually shows all previous Community Jam themes, previous entries, and the winners. And in this whole section, there's much better sorting, and it shows you who the creators are. It shows you all the information that you'd normally see when you go browsing the Dreamiverse. And then each jam is split into the top 3 levels, the top 10 levels, and then the top 25% of entries. And here you can actually search through them, and once votes have been cast and tallied up, things get much easier to go through rather than just playing it through in play menu. And interestingly enough, the top 3 Hall of Fame, they show actually the creators themselves rather than the level, which is actually very good. And then when you click through into the view all entries, that's where you actually see the actual each creation's own profile, and they got their own badges, the top 3, the top 10 badges, and the top 25% badges. But I think it's really great that the whole Creative Jam, all the entries and voting is just archived. That's actually a very great feature. I really love that. And so you can always go back to it, which is really cool. So that's just a general overview of the Community Creative Jam and Dreams. If you like this video, click the like button below, and don't forget to stay tuned. Subscribe to Left Stick Right Stick, where we will be bringing you reviews of the top 10 levels in the community jams. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.